Welcome back to Doing Business As, the small business law podcast from Tracktown Law. I'm Jared Height, attorney and founder of Tracktown Law, a virtual law firm serving business owners across Oregon and Idaho. If you're just tuning in, this podcast is here to help you navigate the legal side of running a small business without getting buried in legalese, overwhelmed by worst-case scenarios, or dragged into the kind of vague business coaching that never quite tells you what to do. Today, we're talking about something that seems simple until it isn't. The registered agent. Specifically, do you really need one? The short answer is yes. The longer answer is still yes, but now we're going to talk about why. Quick reminder before we dive in, while I'm a licensed attorney in Oregon and Idaho, listening to this podcast doesn't make me your lawyer, and nothing you hear today should be taken as legal advice for your specific situation. But it should make you smarter about how to handle something that's a legal requirement and often an afterthought. So what is a registered agent? At its core, a registered agent is the person or company designated to receive official legal and government correspondence on behalf of your business. That means things like lawsuits, subpoenas, tax notices, and reminders from the Secretary of State to file your annual report. They're your legal point of contact with the outside world. In both Oregon and Idaho, you're required to list a registered agent when you form an LLC, a corporation, or a nonprofit. It can't be a P.O. box, and it can't be someone who only checks their mail every other week. It has to be a real person or business with a physical address in the state available during standard business hours. Which brings us to the big temptation, listing yourself. It feels efficient. You're already involved, you get your mail, and hey, it's free. But listing yourself comes with more risk than most people realize. Let's start with the obvious one, privacy. If you're a home-based business or a solo operator, using your personal address as your registered agent means that address goes on the public record. Anyone with an internet connection can find it. Clients, solicitors, unhappy customers, random internet creepers, you name it. And once that info is out there, it's not easy to walk it back. Beyond that, there's the very real risk of missing something important. If someone sues your business, the legal documents get served to your registered agent. If that's you and you're not available, or you just toss the envelope because it looks like junk mail, you might never know that you've been sued until a judgment is entered against you. And yes, that happens more than you'd think. It's called a default judgment. It's what happens when you don't respond in time because you never knew there was a case to begin with. Even less dramatic documents can cause headaches if you miss them. A tax delinquency notice, a warning from the state about a filing issue. If you don't get those, you can lose your good standing, rack up penalties, or have your business administratively dissolved. That's not theoretical, it's something I've seen trigger a cascade of problems, especially when a client doesn't realize their LLC technically no longer exists and they're signing contracts anyway. So yes, you can be your own registered agent, but it's kind of like being your own mechanic. It works until it really doesn't. That brings us to the alternatives. A lot of people ask if they can just name their accountant, or a friend with a brick and mortar location, or their cousin who has a really nice printer. And technically, yes. You can appoint another individual or a business as long as they meet the legal criteria and agree to do it. But just because someone can be a registered agent doesn't mean they should. Are they really going to let you know the minute something shows up? Will they remember to forward every document? Will they still be in the same office a year from now? And if they miss something and it costs you, what's your recourse? This is why many business owners eventually decide to hire a professional registered agent service. They're not expensive, usually somewhere between $50 and $150 a year, and their entire job is to receive legal documents and send them to you promptly and confidentially. Many also include extras like compliance reminders or access to an online portal where all your business documents are stored in one place. If you travel a lot, have a home-based business, or just don't want to deal with the headache of keeping your own name and address current, this can be a good investment. Now, I should say, I don't offer registered agent services through my firm, and I don't make money recommending any particular company, but I do walk clients through the options when we form their entity or clean up their filings. And in my experience, spending a little to offload that responsibility can be the difference between staying on top of your obligations and learning the hard way that you missed something big. Another thing to consider, if you do business in multiple states, you need a registered agent in each one. So, if your main office is in Oregon, but you're expanding into Idaho, you can't just use your Oregon address. You need someone physically located in Idaho who can accept the documents on your behalf. That's another spot where professional services come in handy. They usually have offices in all 50 states and can handle multi-jurisdictional coverage without your needing to rent a mailbox in Boise. I sometimes hear, okay, but what happens if I just list an address and forget about it? Well, best case, you miss a filing deadline. Worst case, you get sued, miss the notice, and a court rules against you by default. Your business could lose its liability shield, have its bank accounts frozen, or get booted out of good standing with the state. Any one of those things can cost you far more than what you were trying to save by not paying for a professional agent or by not updating your own info when you move. It's easy to think of a registered agent as a formality, but like so many things in business law, the formality is the foundation. It's how the state reaches you, it's how the legal system ensures you've been properly notified, and when something serious happens, that simple point of contact suddenly becomes the hinge on which everything swings. So do you really need a registered agent? Absolutely, you're legally required to have one, but more than that, you need one you can trust, whether that's you, someone in your orbit, or a professional service. The risk of getting this wrong isn't worth the small savings. At Tracktown Law, I help small business owners across Oregon and Idaho form, clean up, and maintain their entities so they can focus on running the business, not tracking down missing paperwork. Business law services are billed hourly, and we tailor every engagement to your actual needs. No fluff, no pressure, just the legal infrastructure your business deserves. In our next episode, we're going to talk about operating agreements, specifically why that free template you found online probably doesn't do what you think it does, and how skipping the fine print can leave you exposed when things go sideways. Until then, if you're ready to get your entity structure squared away, or you're not sure if your registered agent info is current, head over to tracktownlaw.com and schedule a consultation. And don't forget, there's a free blog post on this topic waiting for you on the website if you want to revisit any of today's takeaways or share them with a colleague. Thanks for listening. I'm Jared Height, and this is Doing Business As.